I'm William Gallagher and this is 58 Keys. Normally 58 Keys, well, it's for writers. It's about using all this expensive Apple gear we've got. You know, you've bought your Mac, your iPhone, your iPad, whatever it is, and there are writing tools that are just particularly good for us to, you know, get some writing done. This one time though, I want to tell you something slightly different. I'm on my way to a workshop that I'm running, well, kind of a chat more than a workshop, and I used a whole string of apps. Some of them were writing tools, very obviously writing tools, but the rest of them weren't. We have the business of writing as well as actually typing the words onto the screen. So I want to show you a few of those. Some of these we are going to come back to in more detail, one in particular. So if you're interested in these, do hit the subscribe button and we'll talk more. But first of all, I picked this event because it's local. I can drive to it quite quickly. Also, I wasn't supposed to do it. I love this. It's a group that knows me. Oh, thank you. There's a group that knows me and also knows a particular company, a writing company that I work with a lot. Excuse me. So they asked me who I recommended they speak to, that they wanted to talk from. And you obviously the right person, because I do work with a company, but I couldn't remember his email address. You know, with mail, you just type the name, it completes. So to look up his details, I opened an app on the Mac called CardHop, which I particularly like. It's on iOS as well, more powerful on the Mac. A quick, little side point. Let me show you what CardHop is great at. This is me. I'm typing mine. I'm searching for myself, ego or what. But here's an email address. I'll just paste that in. Now, look at what I've just done there. I've written my name. It's found me. I've typed my email address. Because I exist in that contacts database, it knows I'm not creating a new contact. It knows I must therefore be adding to it. So it chucks in that email address without me even looking at it, which is handy, but you should see it when you put in a postal address. You know, with Apple's Contacts app, you have to click on the street name and the county name and all that stuff, and there are ways around it. But with this, my name, a postal address, return, it's done. So I looked up this guy's details, copied out his email address, sent it over to the group, and forgot all about it. But as it happens, the guy's not available, and I am. So he actually unknowingly contacted me, suggesting that I talk to this group who'd been reaching out to him. So then things changed quite seriously. I knew what it was about, the subject of the talk, because I'd had to recommend the right person, but that's very different from you being the one doing it. So now I had to concentrate. It was, not only what it was about and what they wanted, what could I do for them, but also where and when. We went back and forth on a few dates, as you know, you do, no shock there, but two things about that. One is an app. I use Fantastical. I use Fantastical so that I could type this. Liz's group, August the 20th, 10 a.m. and it just did it. Now that's called natural language parsing. I didn't have to find the right date, didn't have to click on the right time and then start typing, it just did it. This actually began in Fantastical. As far as I know, they were the first app to do it. It's now expanded to everything. Even Apple's own app will do this. Fantastical is still the most powerful at it, and I also particularly like it because as well as parsing the text at the end when you've written it, it does it on the way. You can actually see it putting blocks in the right place. So visually, if you make a mistake entering detail, you see that and you correct it, and others don't. Love Fantastical, use it all the time. In this case, I had 3 possible dates, put them all in to make sure that I didn't double book. But you can't tie up 3 dates for one event. So what I do is I then go in and I prefix, how do you pronounce that? One of those words I write a lot and don't say a lot. I prefix the date with this upside down question mark thing, because when I look at my calendar, that upside down question mark leaps out at me. That tells me provisional, in a way that the word provisional or TBC, I don't know, just somehow didn't. Next then, of course, we pick the date, we choose the one, and then there's a question of exactly where it is. Put that in. Similar thing with Fantastical, works out the location. They all do this. I particularly like, though, the travel time thing. This is an Apple-based thing. It's in iOS, but Fantastical adds to it somewhat. Look at the driving time estimate there. That's wrong. That's how long it would take me to drive to the venue from my office at the time that I looked this up. So that could have been 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And the time at rush hour is obviously going to be different. Fantastical will do that based not on the time it looked up then, but on the time now, on the traffic conditions now. Just look outside if you can see that. A lot of traffic around this area. It's worked it all out. It's told me off I pop. So that's CardHop and Fantastical, which means one thing left. The bulk of the plan for this, there's always a plan, I did in Omni Outliner. It's another reason for picking this particular talk as an example. It's a talk, it's a chat. It's going to be 2 hours, but really it's kind of gassing away. I'm not expecting to be standing up there pontificating. I haven't done slides. I'll be using Keynote if I were. A couple of days time I got an all-day event where I'm doing all of this, but with about 200 slides in Keynote as well. This is much more informal. So I could just do anything as long as I made sure I covered all the points. That'd be enough, but we're writers. We shape things. We have an idea we want to convey, we have a place we want to get to, we know rhythm and pace, and that's all the stuff that I work out in Omni Outliner. I end up with a plan. We're not quite there yet. There's some roadworks here, which they're moving around right in front of me. Okay, we can move. Has to do this anyway. Let me tell you 2 last quick things. You've noticed I'm driving. Don't tell anybody I did this. It wasn't my first choice. I live in Birmingham in the UK, and that's one of the many but not all cities that CityMapper works in. This is a really good free app that does mostly public transport stuff. If you put in where you want to go and where you are, it will tell you how to drive there. It will tell you to walk, apparently. Madness. But it will also tell you, you catch these 2 buses at these points, move on to that train, walk here. Really good for doing that kind of thing. And I use public transport a lot around Birmingham because it's just so handy once you know the route. Now, the other one I want to talk about, I don't know where I'm going. I mean, I know where I'm going. I don't know the area very well. As it happens, the moment I finish, I have to leave and rush back to my own office to do another thing. If I weren't doing that, though, I would be using one more app. Right, almost there. I would be using one more app called Where To. I'm starting at 10 o'clock, it's 2 hours. I'm going to finish at lunchtime, so I would use Where To find out somewhere to eat in the local area. I mean, I suppose I could ask the people I'm working with, but there are limits. Actually, I can just stop here. Okay. Where To will show me the nearest pubs, the nearest supermarkets, anything I need. If I run out of batteries or something for equipment, if I was recording this or whatever, again, you'd find the local place for it. So I love Where To, but I'm not particularly using it for this trip. I'm absolutely, totally, 100% reliant on CityMapper and Apple Maps for getting around. I'm not actually that keen on Google Maps. I think it's still supposed to be more accurate than Apple Maps, but they've both made me lost sometimes, so no. Live support dependent on Omni Outliner. That's the one we are definitely coming back to Omni Outliner for as a true writing tool as well as a planning tool. And then before that, there was Fantastical and there was CardHop. The reason for showing you all of these, I've actually lost count of all of those. It's not like a catalogue of apps. It's more this. I didn't think about any of those. It was, I need somebody's name, and there it was. Oh, I happen to be using CardHop. I need setting the dates. I do that upside down question mark. It's in Fantastical. On the Outliner, I spend a lot more time in, so maybe I was more conscious of that. But in all of these cases, it's not what do I need to do in what app. It's what's in my head, what have I got to do, and then the tool is with me. And I love the fact that the best apps are like that. They're very powerful, but they don't make you think about them. You don't have to choose anything. You just get on with the idea. What you're writing is what matters in those apps, and what matters to me as well. The fact that they all string together, the fact that they're all available, the other options for all of these, I think it's amazing what these tools can do for us. I'm pretty sure that iPhones and Macs and iPads, they were invented for us. Okay, don't tell anybody. I think Apple needs to sell to more than writers, but they're for us. That's it for 58 Keys. I'm William Gallagher. Thank you very much for watching. I need to go in there now and do a workshop, chatty kind of thing. I will be back. I hope you will be too. There's that subscribe button. Remember that, please. And we have so much to talk about. I'll see you soon. One more thing. You know all about subscribing to YouTube channels, and it'd be great if you would for this. But if you know that, I know this about you. Whatever sort of writing you're doing, you're not doing enough of it, are you? I actually might be able to help. Have a look on 58keys.com for the writers mailing list, or just check the link below and I'll talk to you about how we can get things moving.